37 hours ago, Donald Trump ordered military strikes on Iran, not during a war, not after a direct attack, during active negotiations, during a ceasefire, during a moment when Pakistani mediators had just brokered a deal in principle. And the moment those strikes landed near the Strait of Hormuz, everything changed. Not in Trump's favor. The opposite. Let me walk you through what actually happened, because the official story and the real story are moving in completely different directions. First, here's what you need to understand about how Trump negotiates. He uses negotiation as cover. In June, a deal was reached. Then Trump launched Midnight Hammer. In February, Oman's foreign minister mediated a settlement. That Friday night, Trump launched Epic Fury. Last Saturday, Pakistan's Field Marshal Munir, one of the most respected military figures in Asia, brought both sides to the table. A framework was on the table. Real movement. Real possibility. Then Sunday night, Trump and Netanyahu coordinated. Monday morning before dawn, the strikes began. And Trump called it self-defense. Let's talk about what self-defense actually means. Iran's Islamic Republic Broadcasting Network responded with one sentence that's now spreading across every diplomatic channel in the world. Quote, "We just found out that it is possible to kill 80,000 people, including more than 10,000 children, displace 2 million people, and call it self-defense." That's not a response to Monday's strikes. That's a response to the entire pattern. And it's devastating because it's true. But here's what matters more than the rhetoric. Here's what actually shifted. Within hours of the strikes, Iran coordinated with China. Not a phone call, a strategic alignment. Pakistan's leadership was already in Beijing, meeting with Xi Jinping. They announced a cooperation agreement. Not a trade deal, a security architecture agreement. And while Trump was posting AI memes of warships and pallets of cash, Iran was doing something far more sophisticated. China just became the guarantor of Middle Eastern stability. Not America. China. Rubio, Trump's Secretary of State, was caught completely off guard. Russia threatened him directly. Quote, "You can't come so get all American diplomats out of Kiev because we're going to blow up the entire city." Rubio didn't condemn it. He backed down. Every American ally condemned Russia's threats on Kiev. Rubio said nothing. Meanwhile, the Financial Times ran a headline that's now the most shared piece of analysis in foreign policy circles. Iran has outdone Trump in the art of deal-making. Think about that. Iran, a country under sanctions, a country isolated, just outmaneuvered the United States in real time. North Korea fired projectiles off its west coast the same day. Not a coincidence. That was a message. South Korea's military assessed it as mockery, a statement that the U.S. security umbrella in Asia is non-existent. One strike, one moment of weakness, and suddenly every adversary is moving at once. Let's go back to what Trump claimed. He said the strikes were purely defensive, that they targeted missile launch sites and Iranian boats. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. The Strait of Hormuz is still controlled by Iran, not America. Iran controls 21% of global oil transit. That's not a military statistic. That's an economic choke point. And Trump just proved he can't secure it. The strikes didn't eliminate the Islamic Republic's capabilities. They didn't stop Iran's navy. They didn't close the strait. They did the opposite. They unified Iran's leadership. They brought China into the Middle East as a security guarantor. They showed every nation watching that American promises mean nothing. Iran's President Pezeshkian responded within the hour. Quote, we will not yield to the enemy's excessive demands, and the rights of the Iranian people must be fully respected. Iran's parliament leader Galibaf, one of their lead negotiators, said, no executioner can stand in the faith of Iran's faithful soldiers. Brigadier General Abdullah promised a harsh and hellish response. These aren't threats. They're declarations of unity. The regime is stronger now than it was before the strikes. That's the opposite of what military action is supposed to achieve. Mohammad Maghdadi, an Iranian official, responded to Trump's AI memes with something that cut deeper than any military statement. So, quote, the flag which you colored on social media upon the map of our dear country in reality is only used to cover the coffins of your soldiers. He was talking about the 13 service members who died in the strikes. Not in combat, in the strikes themselves. 13 Americans? Gone. And Trump responded with memes. Here's what's happening that most analysts are missing. The entire security architecture of the Middle East is being rewritten. For 70 years, America was the guarantor. America provided the security umbrella. America brokered deals. That system is collapsing in real time. China is moving in. Russia is threatening diplomats and backing down from nothing. Pakistan, a U.S. ally, is coordinating with China on Middle Eastern security. And Trump is posting AI cartoons. The deal that Trump agreed to with Pakistan as mediator would have given Iran billions of dollars in sanctions relief. Real money. Real concessions. But when Netanyahu and the neocon war machine pushed back, Trump reversed course. He attacked the very people he'd just negotiated with, and then he claimed self-defense. That's not negotiation. That's betrayal. And every nation watching just learned that American agreements are worthless. Let's talk about the economic consequence. Oil prices are already moving. The Strait of Hormuz is the most critical choke point in global energy markets. Iran controls it. Trump just proved he can't challenge that control. Every barrel of oil that moves through that strait now moves under Iran's terms. Not America's. That's trillions of dollars in economic leverage that just shifted hands. Not through military action. Through Trump's failure to maintain credibility. Obama's Iran policy is being compared now. Obama removed sanctions. He got Iran to remove nuclear material to non-weapons grade under IAEA supervision. He did it without war. Trump inherited that framework and destroyed it. Now he's at war. He can't stop the war in Ukraine like he promised. He's created one of the biggest geopolitical disasters in American history. And his approval rating is at 30%. The worst in modern presidential history. Worse than Nixon when he resigned. But the real damage isn't in approval ratings. It's in what just happened to American power. The U.S. is no longer the security guarantor in the Middle East. China is moving in. Russia is threatening with impunity. Iran is unified. And Trump is inspecting pillars at the White House, planning to replace them with Corinthian gold. That's not leadership. That's disconnection from reality. What comes next is the hard part. Iran will respond. Not immediately, not with the same bluntness, but strategically, they'll coordinate with China on nuclear policy. They'll work with Russia on regional stability. They'll move oil through alternative routes. They'll make America irrelevant in the region where America spent 70 years building influence. And Trump will post more memes. The window for negotiation didn't close because of Iranian intransigence. It closed because Trump attacked during negotiations. That's not self-defense. That's sabotage. And every nation in the world just watched it happen. Every nation just learned that American promises are conditional on Trump's mood. That's not how you maintain a global order. That's how you lose one. Pope Francis just released a statement about autonomous weapon systems and AI in theaters of war. He talked about algorithms blocking access to healthcare and employment based on prejudiced data. He talked about the silence of those who have no voice when decisions are made. He was talking about moments like this. When one man, disconnected from reality, posts memes while the entire global order shifts beneath him. When 13 service members die and their memory is demeaned by the man who sent them. When the future of Middle Eastern stability is being rewritten and nobody in the White House seems to understand what's happening. That's where we are. Not at the beginning of a conflict. At the end of American credibility in the region. And it happened in 37 hours. It happened because Trump can't help himself. He sees negotiation as weakness. He sees deals as opportunities to sucker punch. And he just sucker punched the wrong people at the wrong moment. Now China is the guarantor. Now Iran is unified. Now Russia is threatening with no consequences. And now America is alone. That's what America first actually means. America alone. And that's the geopolitical reality we're waking up to.